Alright guys, I'm at the Holy Ridge Cemetery in Sunflower County, Mississippi. And I'm after the grave of Charley Patton. And he was a blues musician, also regarded as like one of the fathers of the Delta blues. Too many landmarks here. We'll find it. A lot of rain here, and this is a very flat area, of course. Like I said, unfortunately, no landmarks to go by to find him. Well, I'll talk about him while I walk, try to avoid the puddles. Alright guys, I think he's going to be one of these two over here. Probably James Foster. Not who I'm looking for, but that's alright. Monarch or parader with soul. Oh, here we go. We're at the grave of Charley Patton. Born April 1891. Died April 28, 1934. The voice of the Delta. The foremost performer of early Mississippi blues, whose songs became cornerstones of American music. He was born near Edwards, Mississippi, a mix of African, Cherokee, and Caucasian descent. They moved to a pretty large plantation right before he was, right around 1900, for a 10,000 acre cotton farm. And he would sneak away and watch the sharecroppers, Saturday night dances, and he kind of fell to the music, you know. A guy named Henry Sloan kind of became his first teacher. Patton's father, a church elder, whipped him, and when he learned that he was doing it, you know, going to those music, you know, going to those Saturday night dances and stuff. He was a small guy, 5'5", 135 pounds, but a larger than life performer. He married 8 times in his life, so he liked the ladies, and so yeah. He was one of those guys that really wasn't discovered outside the region until obviously much later. He cut a lot of songs. Some of his biggest ones were the Pony Blues, High Water Everywhere, A Spoonful of Blues, Down the Dirt Road, Banty Rooster Blues, Prayer of Death, Screaming and Hollering the Blues, Shake It and Break It, and Tom Russian Blues. You know, he almost didn't get those recorded just because of the smart, you know, the Great Depression and whatnot. But again, he wasn't discovered outside of the region until much later, and much of his stuff's been. A lot of people have talked about his influences: Howlin' Wolf, Big Joe Williams, Robert Johnson, who I did a video of earlier, Muddy Waters, Elmore James. In 2001, they remastered his complete recordings, and they won 3 Grammy Awards, including 1 for Best Historical Album. So again, a lot of these blues musicians you don't hear much about until much later in life, when a lot of these other musicians start mentioning them, and you know, the history almost was lost for some of these guys. But again, the music had the staying power to influence thousands of musicians beyond his own time. So, get a little close up here. Good looking guy. Imagine it would have been tough to be a biracial man or woman in that time. You know, kind of always struggling where to fit in the early 1930s or 1900s. You know, 1900, 1910, 20, 30. Just such a tough time in American history for the minorities. So I'm sure he was in a even a tougher situation of, you know, acceptance probably amongst a lot of folks. Very simple marker. So there we go, guys. The grave of Charley Patton, a blues musician and regarded as the father of the Delta blues.